Can I be honest for a second? Thin hair is tough. If you've ever stood in front of the mirror, running your fingers through strands that used to feel full and healthy, wondering what happened, you are not alone. So many women feel like they have to just accept their thinning hair. But what if I told you the problem isn't your hair at all? It's how you've been styling it. Here's the truth. Everything you thought you knew about making thin hair look thicker might actually be making it look worse. From the way you cut it, to the part you wear, to the products you use, these small details can either work for you or against you. And unfortunately, most advice out there sets you up to fail. But today, that stops. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 biggest mistakes women make when styling thin hair and how to fix them. And I'm not talking about expensive salon treatments or complicated techniques. These are simple, practical changes you can start doing today that instantly make your hair look fuller, healthier, and more youthful. You'll learn how to create natural lift at the roots, choose cuts that actually add volume instead of taking it away, tweak your part for maximum fullness, add texture that makes thin hair look alive, and use lightweight products that don't weigh your hair down. By the end, you'll finally feel confident styling your hair because you'll know exactly what to do, not just what to avoid. If you're ready to stop feeling frustrated every time you look in the mirror and start loving your hair again, stay with me. The secrets we're about to cover will change the way you think about thin hair forever and make every morning a little bit easier and a lot more beautiful. Before we dive into the actual steps, let me share a little story because I know exactly how it feels. My friend Mary, who's in her late 50s, came to me feeling completely defeated about her hair. She used to have gorgeous shoulder-length hair that framed her face perfectly, but over the years it had gotten thinner, and suddenly every style she tried seemed to make it look worse. She had chopped it short once, thinking shorter meant fuller, and ended up regretting it instantly. She felt like she didn't even recognize herself in the mirror anymore. What Mary discovered, and what I want you to understand, is that it's not about cutting your hair short or using every product on the market. It's about understanding how thin hair works and working with it, not against it. It's about small, strategic changes that give the illusion of fullness, lift, and movement. Once she learned these techniques, her hair came back to life. She felt confident again, her face looked brighter, and styling became fun instead of stressful. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to break down the 5 most common mistakes women make with thin hair and how to fix them step by step so that, like Mary, you can feel beautiful, confident, and in control of your hair every single day. Let's dive deep into mastering the root lift because this is the foundation of creating the illusion of fuller, more youthful hair. Thin hair tends to lie flat against your scalp, and no matter how shiny or healthy it is, without lift, it can look sparse and lifeless. That's why step 1 is understanding how to give your roots the volume they crave. Start with slightly damp hair and apply a lightweight root lifting mousse directly to the roots. This isn't about coating your hair with heavy products. It's about giving each strand the freedom to lift naturally. Step 2 is the technique itself. Flip your hair upside down and use your fingers to lift at the roots while blow drying. You don't need a round brush or comb. Your fingers are all the tool you need. Move them gently across your scalp, separating strands and encouraging them to stand away from your head. Even just 60 seconds of this motion changes how your hair sits and trains it over time to maintain volume without constant effort. This upside-down method uses gravity to your advantage, giving you lift without stress or damage. Step 3 is combining this technique with strategic cutting. The right haircut enhances root lift dramatically. Soft layers starting at the cheekbones, light texturizing to remove weight, and face-framing pieces allow your hair to move naturally while supporting the illusion of fullness. Avoid heavy, blunt cuts that create a helmet-like appearance or razor-thin strands that fall flat. Your cut is the framework that makes every styling step easier and more effective, so choose one that works with your natural hair texture. Step 4 is adding texture and movement to maximize the effect of the lift. Straight, flat hair undoes all your efforts because it emphasizes thinning areas. Use gentle waves, soft bends, or even no-heat braids overnight to give your hair dimension and body. Velcro rollers on slightly damp hair or a hot brush that smooths while lifting can add subtle movement that makes your roots appear fuller. Texture works hand in hand with your lifted roots, creating shadows and depth that trick the eye into seeing thicker hair. Finally, step 5 is product moderation. Too much product at the roots can completely sabotage your lift, weighing hair down and making it appear greasy. Focus on lightweight mousses, texturizing sprays, and a touch of dry shampoo at the crown for extra grip. If you can feel a sticky or heavy coating on your scalp after styling, you've gone too far. Your hair should feel clean, bouncy, and natural while maintaining the root lift that gives it life. When these 5 steps, root prep, upside down lift, strategic cutting, texture, and mindful product use, work together, the results are transformative. Thin hair goes from flat and lifeless to lively, full-bodied, and confident looking. Mastering the root lift isn't about magic or expensive tools. It's about understanding how your hair behaves and giving it the support, shape, and freedom it needs to shine every single day. Now that you've mastered the root lift, it's time to talk about the right haircut for thin hair, because without the proper cut, even the best styling techniques can fall flat. Thin hair isn't a flaw. It's simply hair that needs structure, shape, and strategic movement. The right cut works hand in hand with your root lift to create the illusion of fullness and a youthful bounce that lasts all day. First, consider soft layers that start around your cheekbones or slightly below. These layers add natural movement and prevent your hair from lying flat, giving every strand a chance to catch the light and appear thicker. Avoid layers that start too high or too short, which can exaggerate thin spots or make hair look uneven. The goal is gentle, flowing layers that complement your natural texture and enhance your features. Next, think about face framing pieces. Small strategic cuts around your face draw attention to your best features rather than thinning areas. Whether it's a subtle curtain around the eyes or delicate wisps at the jawline, these pieces make your hair look intentional and styled rather than limp or lifeless. They also give you more styling options, from loose waves to soft curls, without fighting your hair's natural tendencies. Another key element is light texturizing. Removing excess weight while preserving volume is crucial for thin hair. A skilled stylist can create texture that lifts your strands, allowing your root lift to work even harder. Avoid heavy, blunt cuts that sit flat on your head or razor-thin cuts that can make hair appear stringy. The right texturizing technique ensures your hair feels soft, moves naturally, and maintains the fullness you've been working so hard to create. Finally, remember that a great haircut makes styling easier, not harder. When your haircut supports the root lift and works with your natural texture, daily styling becomes faster, more enjoyable, and less stressful. You'll notice that your hair feels lighter, more flexible, and more resilient, giving you confidence every time you step out the door. Pairing the right cut with the root lift you mastered earlier transforms thin hair completely. It's no longer about hiding your strands, it's about embracing them with smart techniques that highlight your beauty, add volume, and restore your confidence. When cut, shape, and style come together, thin hair becomes a canvas for creativity, movement, and effortless elegance. Now that your hair has lifted the roots and the perfect cut to enhance volume, let's talk about a detail that is often overlooked but can completely change the way thin hair looks: your part. The truth is, the line where your hair naturally splits can either highlight thinning areas or create the illusion of fullness. Most women with thin hair stick to the same part they've had for years without realizing it may be working against them. First, consider a soft side part instead of a middle part. Middle parts tend to flatten the hair along the scalp and expose thinning lines, drawing attention to areas you'd rather minimize. A gentle side part redistributes hair naturally, giving the appearance of more density and creating subtle lift at the roots, perfectly complementing the root lift technique you've already mastered. For an even more creative approach, try a zigzag part. Using the pointed end of a comb, create tiny zigzags along your part instead of a straight line. This simple optical illusion tricks the eye into perceiving fullness, breaking up any sparse areas along the scalp. It's a small change that can make a massive visual difference, especially for those with thinning crowns or temples. Another tip is slightly shifting your part each week. Hair tends to get weaker and thinner along the same line over time, so changing the placement, even by half an inch, gives your hair a chance to lift in new directions, keeping your style fresh and lively. Combine this with your layers and face framing cuts, and you'll notice that your hair has more body and movement than ever before. Remember, choosing the right part isn't just about appearance, it also affects styling. With a soft side or zigzag part, your root lift becomes more effective, your layers flow naturally, and adding texture later will enhance the overall fullness of your hair. It's the kind of strategic detail that works silently in the background, yet dramatically changes the way your hair looks in photos, in mirrors, and in real life. By pairing the perfect part with your root lift and a cut that works for thin hair, you're setting the foundation for effortless styling. These three steps, root lift, right cut, and perfect part, create a synergy that makes your hair appear thicker, more youthful, and full of life. Thin hair no longer has to be flat, lifeless, or frustrating to manage. Instead, it becomes a canvas for movement, texture, and confidence that reflects your style and personality. Now that you've mastered the root lift, found the right cut, and chosen the perfect part, it's time to tackle texture, the secret ingredient that transforms thin hair from flat and lifeless to full of movement and dimension. Think of texture as the magic that creates depth, shadow, and the illusion of thickness, giving your hair that youthful, vibrant look without adding a single strand. Straight, flat hair immediately highlights sparse areas, making thinning more obvious. That's why adding even subtle texture changes everything. You don't need dramatic curls or salon-only tools. Simple techniques like soft waves, gentle bends, or light fluffing make your hair look effortlessly fuller. For example, try Velcro rollers on slightly damp hair for 10–15 minutes before styling. They lift strands without heat, leaving soft, natural volume. Another favorite method is the no-heat braid technique. Before bed, braid slightly damp hair into 1 or 2 loose braids. Sleep on it overnight, and in the morning, undo the braids and gently tousle your hair with your fingers. This creates natural waves and movement, adding body at the mid-lengths and ends while keeping your roots lifted. It's an easy trick that works for any hair length and doesn't damage your strands. For those mornings when time is tight, a hot brush can smooth while adding light body and movement simultaneously. Use a round or paddle brush with gentle heat to lift and shape sections, focusing on areas that appear flat or thin. Remember, the goal isn't stiffness, it's soft, touchable texture that enhances your hair's natural flow. Texture also works hand in hand with your root lift and part. When you add movement to mid-lengths and ends, it blends seamlessly with the lift at your roots, making the overall style look balanced, voluminous, and effortless. You'll notice that your layers and face-framing pieces now have more life, and the optical illusion of density is amplified. Finally, a few product tips. Lightweight, texturizing sprays, or a tiny dab of root powder along part lines add grip and shadow, enhancing fullness. The key is always less is more. Too much product weighs hair down, erasing all your hard work. Focus on the areas that benefit most: roots, mid-lengths, and any thin spots along the crown or temples. By mastering texture alongside root lift, the right cut, and the perfect part, your thin hair finally looks alive, soft, and full of dimension. These steps aren't complicated, they're practical, and they give you confidence every time you step out. Thin hair becomes an asset, not a limitation, showcasing your style, sophistication, and vitality. Finally, we arrive at one of the most overlooked secrets for thin hair. Less is more when it comes to products. It's tempting to pile on mousse, conditioner, oils, and sprays, thinking more will equal fuller hair. The truth? Too much product is the fastest way to weigh your hair down, flatten your lift, and make your strands look even thinner than they really are. Start by choosing lightweight products that add body without heaviness. A volumizing mousse applied only to damp roots can work wonders, creating lift right where it's needed. Avoid heavy creams, thick conditioners, or oils at the roots. They're all sabotage disguised as nourishment. Focus moisture and protection at the ends instead, where hair tends to dry out first. This simple shift keeps your hair looking soft, bouncy, and natural. For added texture and grip, use a light texture spray or mist through mid-lengths and ends. These products create movement and shadow, enhancing the illusion of density. If your crown is particularly thin, a tiny touch of dry shampoo can provide instant lift and volume while keeping your style fresh between washes. Remember, the goal is enhancing, not weighing down. Your hair should feel light, clean, and touchable, never stiff or sticky. A game-changing tip many women swear by is root powder or scalp shading. Just a dusting along your part or any thinning areas fills in gaps and creates the appearance of thicker hair instantly. Think of it as makeup for your scalp. It's subtle, effective, and a confidence booster you'll wonder how you ever lived without. Combine these product strategies with the previous steps: root lift, the right cut, perfect part, and added texture, and your hair transforms completely. What was once flat and lifeless now moves with dimension, volume, and softness. Even those stubborn thinning spots along the crown or temples become invisible. Thin hair is no longer a limitation. It becomes a styling advantage, letting you express elegance, youthfulness, and vitality effortlessly. Finally, keep this in mind. You don't need expensive salon brands or complicated tools to achieve professional-looking results. The right techniques and smart, lightweight products are all it takes to make thin hair look full, lively, and healthy every single day. Once you commit to less is more, you'll wonder why you ever believed the myths that more product equals better hair. By following these 5 simple steps, thin hair becomes manageable, stylish, and confident. You've mastered the lift, cut, part, texture, and product secrets, all working together to make every strand count. You deserve hair that reflects your beauty, sophistication, and energy, and now you finally have the tools to make that happen. Remember Mary? She thought cutting her beautiful shoulder-length hair into a pixie would make it look fuller, but instead, she walked out of the salon feeling disconnected from her own reflection. She felt frustrated and unsure if she would ever love her hair again. But the truth is, it wasn't Mary's hair that was the problem. It was how she was styling it. Once she learned the 5 key steps, mastering root lift, choosing the right cut, adjusting her part, adding texture, and using lightweight products, everything changed. By flipping her hair and lifting at the roots, Mary immediately added volume where it mattered most. The soft layers and face-framing pieces in her new cut gave movement and life to strands that had been lying flat. Switching her part to a gentle side sweep created the illusion of fullness, while adding texture with simple braids or Velcro rollers gave dimension and depth. And finally, using just the right amount of lightweight products kept her hair bouncy and natural, never weighed down. Mary's transformation wasn't about looking younger. It was about feeling confident and in control of her hair. Each morning became a moment of empowerment, not a struggle. Thin hair, she discovered, can be elegant, stylish, and flattering at any age when you work with it instead of against it. Her story is a reminder that small intentional changes can make a huge difference. By embracing these 5 steps, you can make your hair look fuller, healthier, and more vibrant. You deserve to feel amazing every day, just like Mary, walking out the door confident, radiant, and proud of the hair you've learned to love again. If you enjoyed this video and found these tips helpful for your thin, very sparse hair, please give it a thumbs up and show your support. I'd love to hear your thoughts, experiences, or any questions in the comments below. Let's share ideas and encourage each other. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so we can meet again in the next video with more easy, stylish tips for women over 50. See you soon.